Strange low-budget religious kids show, possibly late 80s to early or mid-90s. Creepy religious kids show made by a cult I escaped from. I know the title sounds clickbaity, but I assure you every word of it is true, and what I'm describing is real. I just know it is. The cult in question is called the Family International, or TFI. I grew up in Huntington Beach, which funnily enough is where the cult started. I was born into it with my parents, still remaining members to this day. Their start dates for the cult, as of now, being unknown. What I know for a fact, the show followed a sheep, possibly named something biblical, as they encountered problems. The show was in the style of Sesame Street, with puppets and actors, with small animated segments. Standard kids show affairs, right? Well, the problems encountered dove into disturbing subject matter. One segment I recall had the sheep talking to a little boy who had said he wanted to serve Jesus in all ways he could, with the sheep saying the little boy should give his body to the church, with an animated Jesus standing next to what I recall being children wearing little clothing. The show, from what I remember, appeared to have been made in the 80s, judging by the camera quality, but I grew up in the 90s and saw these at only 4 years old. So that puts us at 1994 for my earliest recollection of it. Some of the kids within our group were born in the 80s, and they had seen these too. So that puts a possible start date as late as 1985 to 1989. But I could be wrong. The show came on VHS, and we had hundreds stored away on church property. If this proves the existence of hundreds of episodes, or just means there are multiple copies of the same episode, is unknown. My theories. Information is likely scarce for two reasons. Either it's been scrubbed to save reputation, or it was produced by the cult with no release outside it, so obviously no documentation. So let's get into it. The described cult, the Family International, or TFI, is a new religious movement in America, founded in 1968 by David Brandt Berg. Since its founding, the group has been called by various names due to attempts to hide its dark past. Former members of the cult have accused TFI of being an authoritarian cult that engages in systematic physical and sexual abuse of children. In order for these accusations not to be empty, let's consider the story of one of the former members of this cult. Richard Rodriguez was a member of this cult in childhood. He and his adoptive parents, David Berg and Karen Zerby, both of whom were cult leaders, traveled the world to recruit followers. Berg believed Rodriguez was destined to become a prophet during the biblical end times. From a young age, Rodriguez grew up in a horrifying environment and was sexually abused by numerous people, including a group of nannies, as described in a published family document called the Davidito Book. Despite leaving the cult and getting married, Rodriguez struggled to adjust to life outside the cult and sought revenge for his abuse. He left his wife in Tacoma and traveled across the U.S. trying to find his abuser. Upon learning that his former nanny, Angela Smith, was in Tucson, Arizona, he began living there with people he knew until he settled in an apartment. On January 7, 2005, he recorded a video in which he said he needed to avenge the abuse in the family. The next day, Rodriguez invited Smith to his home for dinner, where he stabbed her and then committed suicide. However, let's return to the search for the missing show mentioned by the original poster. In the comments, many shows created by the cult were suggested. Here are a few examples. The show, The Lovitz.
The Lovitz, those happy, loving puppets, with songs of love and songs of joy, a special time for every girl and boy. The Lovitz.
The video titled So's, which later became a meme. The show, Treasure Attic. Let's have fun.
I'm the shepherd, and I know the way. Hey, snowflake, can you hear me call? Hey, snowflake, I don't want you to fall. Stay closer.
Though the last one was close, it still wasn't the one. A children's show called Ronnie and Marty was also mentioned, specifically an episode in which the puppet Marty confesses to Ronnie that some evil kids tried to make him watch pornography.
Come over here and take a look at our pictures.
And here's the creepy part. Ronald Brown was sentenced to 20 years in prison for possessing child pornography. To this day, users have not been able to find that exact show, but many claim they might have seen it on TV around 2008. The cult still exists to this day, and everything that happens inside remains a very dark secret. For the past 2 months, I've been getting these creepy-ass ads on mobile. They have no sound with the exception of one, and are all shot from what looks like a bad cell phone. What are they, you ask? Well, here's the list. A girl standing in the middle of an open field, walking slowly toward the camera as the camera person backs up. A birthday cake collapsing on itself. A car following a truck on what seems to be a highway. A mattress falls out of the truck, and the car swerves off the road and the camera stares at the mattress. A person walking slowly into a lake. A wheelchair in an empty room. This is the one with sound, and it is of a baby crying. These aren't advertising anything at all, or if they are, it isn't clear. These are basically the only ads I get on mobile anymore, and I have never seen these ads anywhere but mobile. Sounds creepily plausible, right? However, some users in the comments don't think so. One commenter wrote 3 possible explanations for the post. You have a carbon monoxide leak. Remember that guy who thought the FBI was after him, and even uploaded footage of a helicopter hovering over his house? But it was really nothing but a video of a clear sky. Your Wi-Fi is being messed with. I once downloaded an app that let me intercept all images and replace them with an image of my choice. So any Google image search, ad, or Facebook picture would all load as a picture of me for every device using the Wi-Fi. It was hilarious. But is it possible a roommate or neighbor is pulling a similar prank on you? An ad blocking app gone wrong. Maybe an ad blocking app that tried to block ads by replacing them with non-ads and has a creepy sense of humor. Surprisingly, no one in the comments posted actual recordings of these kinds of ads. However, there were a few commenters who said they saw similar ads. One user wrote that the original poster wasn't the only one who encountered creepy ads and shared a post where the author claimed to have seen such an ad and even posted a screenshot of a strange ad with some guy singing and lighting a candle. However, the image turned out to be a regular candle ad. Most users in the comments concluded that the original poster is probably experiencing mental disturbances due to carbon monoxide poisoning. But what if these ads really do exist? Need help identifying a short snippet of some rock song? Here's the only snippet I currently have.
Long and silken gown that breaks her body. It makes me want to ask for more. And I take her to a theater.
I can't exactly tell you where it came from, sorry. It does sound like it comes from some popular band, but yet every time I've asked, which wasn't a lot, but whatever, nobody could tell me anything about what it might be. It's definitely in English though, or at least it mostly is. Many of you will say it's the Smiths, and many Reddit users share this opinion. However, that's not the case. The original poster says he got the snippet from a deleted video on YouTube. There was nothing in the video that could help find the song. Production makes me think more 70s based on the guitar and drum sounds. Also, the singing style is more in line with that period than 80s or 90s. I wrote out the lyrics I heard, and those pretty much match yours. I'm not getting hits on any search engine, and with OP saying no sound recognition software is picking it up either, I'm going with this being a smaller band artist that never widely released their music. To this day, no one has been able to say exactly what band or song this is, and it seems it will remain lost forever. These were 3 unsolved mysteries from Reddit, and this was Spookify. If you like this series, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't look behind you.